This episode is brought to you by Lake Martin Marketing Group, your full-service creative partner for branding, social media, websites, video production, and everything in between. From small businesses to political campaigns, we're proud to partner with businesses who gets noticed and drives actual results. We're based in the historic Tallapoosa County Bank, where we bring big ideas to small towns. Are you ready to elevate your brand? Please visit lakemartinmarketing.com or follow us on social media. Hey guys, welcome back to The Vault. My name is Liv. Today I am here with Bass Ninas with Airflow Exteriors. And so, Bass Ninas, welcome to The Vault.
Hey Liv, thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for taking your time to come sit with me today. I know how busy you are and with everything that you have going on. And so, yeah, we'll just jump right into it. So, the company Airflow Exteriors was founded in 1951. What was the founding vision for Airflow Exteriors back then and how it's evolved over the years?
So originally, Airflow Exteriors was founded as Affordable Awning Company of Columbus, Georgia. So what I assume the vision was of the family that started was to be able to add to the exteriors of your home, to give it a facelift, to be able to do what you want to do and enjoy the outdoors and not have to drop an egregious amount of money. To be able to protect your car, to live outside, to just enjoy the home that you bought without it being an extra loan to get it done. And I think that was the vision, was to bring affordability and comfortability to people everyday people who want it.
So, for those who do not know what Airflow Exteriors are, what kind of services do you offer? What all do you do?
So traditionally it was a truss style awning, and that's how we started. And it's evolved more now to where we're doing commercial and residential. We've broken into the industrial market to the luxury market. So we offer anything from a carport to a screen room to Four Seasons style rooms that are completely insulated to a hybrid, which is using a system called an Easy Breeze, which takes a window in a screen room and makes it kind of one. And instead of it being glass, it's a vinyl. So that's always an affordable option for people. We do walkways. We do automatic screen rooms where they'll drop down with the press of a button. The same thing with those vinyl windows. You can drop those down. That's been a big thing on the lake, and a big thing for restaurants is to get those. You're allowed to still enjoy the outdoors, and at a press of a button, you can stop bugs, you can stop the cold wind, and you can heat it a little bit better, and you don't have to pay as much for if you wanted to fully insulate it like a full glass room. So we've kind of broken into those markets, and we do a little bit of everything: replacement windows and doors. If you need it done and we don't do it, we'll find someone who can.
Awesome. And that was like one thing that I had to like educate myself on whenever your company and my company started working together, was the different types of awnings and like the difference between like an Easy Breeze or a sunroom, or not a sunroom, but like a screen room. And so it's been really cool to like learn about the different types of services you offer, because it's an array. It's an array of
A
services.
lot goes into it. It's a lot more once you start understanding what it is. From outside the box, it looks like a sunroom, an awning, and a screen room. But once you actually get into the minute details of it, and you start realizing that there are a million different designs, a million different materials and color options, and everything, you can almost customize everything from start to finish. And that's what we're here for, is to allow you to make what you want, what your vision is, to come true, and try to do it to the best of our abilities.
That's awesome. And I really think that in like, especially the Lake Martin area and in the Columbus, Auburn area, there's not a whole lot of companies that do that. And y'all been doing it for such a long time, which kind of brings me into my next question. So when did you and your family like essentially take over Airflow Exteriors?
So my dad worked at Synovus for 25, I believe, years, and retired for about 2 weeks. That was enough retirement for him. And I want to say it was about 2021 that this offer or this opportunity was offered to us, and he was a little skittish at first, but went full into it. I came on at the beginning of 2022, just learning how installs and learning all the different materials and stuff. And since then, we bought out the majority, and then we bought out full. So we're complete 100% owners. I want to say the end of 22 or the end of 23. That's when we fully acquired the business.
What do you believe are the core values that has enabled Airflow Exteriors to run from 1951 to now?
I'd say customer satisfaction. That's the biggest thing we run on. If you're not happy with it, what can we do to make you happier? It doesn't. It's not about making a profit. It's not about making money. It's not about becoming the biggest. It's about being the best. There's never been a job where someone's been unhappy and we just walked away. You paid for something, you wanted it done. If you weren't happy with it, we're gonna do it till you're happy, and that's what we strive ourselves on. What's that saying? Often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah.
And there's several companies, around the area, and there's a lot of people that do this work around the United States, especially in Florida. But I think one thing we pride ourselves on is the customer satisfaction. If we can leave you happy, that's what we're here for. And this is honestly the first time I think we've ever actually done marketing. Little I'm coming in here trying to create a new age for things, and the way we ran since 1951 was word of mouth. And the reason we've been able to strive since 1951 is because of customer satisfaction. You don't get word of mouth if you're good or if you're bad.
Right.
Nobody's going to talk about you. So it's obviously worked for us. I'm grateful for all the people that we've been able to help, and just stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah. Customers are number one for any sort of business, whether you're in sales, leads or service, like customers are number one. Kind of going back on like the tons of services that you offer. What's one project or milestone that your company did that you're most proud of or your favorite or biggest? Like which one do you like remember doing that's like your favorite?
So I remember it has to be very significant for me to remember. We do 400 to 500 awnings a year.
Wow.
And that's just awnings, and there's screen rooms and easy breeze rooms and all that in between the mix. But usually the ones that are the hardest are the ones I remember. I've done a lot of work for counties, a lot of work for schools, a couple big jobs for Auburn University, War Eagle, by the way. I've done
War
a lot of
Eagle.
work with the Fort Benning, and the military base down there in Columbus. I've done work for prison systems. I've done work for defense manufacturers, like RTX, which is Pratt and Whitney. We did a really big one this summer. I mean, probably I think the biggest we've ever done. It was a while. So the one that means the most to me, but I'd have to say is going to be Auburn. I love Auburn, and I believe in it. They pay me to say that. I'm just kidding. I paid them to say that. I love that school. I love what the culture around Auburn is. I love what it stands for. I love being a student there at the same time I'm in employment, and to be able to go to a football game or a baseball game and see some of the work that I've done and just see it up there, that it's until I guess they build something new that my work's going to be there. I like leaving my mark on something that I truly love.
That's awesome. Kind of going into Auburn University, you're obviously a student, but you started college typically later than most 18-year-olds coming straight out of high school. What led to that decision?
Well, so a lot of it came into play when I graduated in 2020, and I was the oldest in my class. I had a weird August birthday, so I was either been the youngest or the oldest. So I did 2 years of college, and I think I stopped at the end of 21 or 20, yeah, into 21. And I was burnt out. I was tired. I had done with all the online stuff. I don't focus well when it comes to online. I'm not very technologically advanced, to be honest with you. I don't understand most things online. I can work a computer, I can do some stuff like that, but I I felt disconnected from the world I felt disconnected from school. I didn't feel that I got that connection that people get when they become freshmen in college, and I didn't get that. So, with the thing for me is, with that, I burnt out. I just like I'm gonna stop. I don't want to go to school. I don't need school. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I was taking pilot's lessons at the time, and I was doing that, and I was really trying to figure out who I was. And I started working with my dad, and I was like, okay, my dad went to school, and I thought about it, and we're sitting here. I'm like, well, I don't need school to be able to run this business. And I sat there and thought about it longer, and I said, but it would be helpful. And so I was like, I'm gonna make it a point to go back. I'm gonna make it a point to finish. I want to have the piece of paper with my name on it, just as a milestone in my life, as something that I can hang up. Again, I love Auburn, always have, and I always thought, man, it would be cool to have that. So that's why I went back, and it'll be beneficial in the future. It's something I'd rather have and not need than need and not have it.
Right.
So it's been, with working full time and being a full time student, it's been quite challenging at points to focus on one or the other because, one, I'm paying to go to school and I'd love to be able to pass, and, I have to focus on that. But at the same time, I'm trying to help run and expand a company. So I'm trying to juggle that on the other hand. So most nights I'm working late, or I'm working late on homework, and Saturdays I'm doing things for work or I'm doing homework. So I'm busy 24/7 at this point.
That's awesome. Um, what do you study? I'm curious.
So I'm just doing business administration. That's what I started. It was the easiest track for me to get back in there and finish. And so that's where I'm at now. Um, I'm in between a junior and a senior. I don't really know how it works because I've had so many credits, but I need X amount more. But I have about a semester and a half left.
Aren't you in my mom's class?
I am in your mom's class.
For y'all who do not know, my mom is a professor for the family business and entrepreneurship minor at Auburn University, and she teaches managing entrepreneurial startups. And so, pretty cool.
Yeah, I love your mom. She's so sweet. I've always found it hard to teach an entrepreneur class. I took my first one last semester. I found that hard to be able to teach. And the way I see it is that it's almost philosophical in a sense. You can teach it, but it's hard to teach because
You have to experience
you
it.
have to be actively doing it. And I know the reason they teach it is to light that fire into people, to be able to let them realize their potential and show them. And I'm grateful that your mom has the experience, and as well as Scott, Mr. Scott, who's he's in there with her. They have experience that they're able to talk from, which is awesome for people who don't have that or have never had that. That you're able to hear it firsthand account, especially with them. They have access to the NVA, and to be able to go talk to those people if they have an idea or a project. It's great to see that. I just find it hard to. I respect it, but I find it hard to teach the fundamental values. But they do a great job at making it, this isn't the only way you can do it. This is the way that I did it, and here's a way that someone else did it. And they're showing you all the paths to be an entrepreneur, or even to have that mindset going into a corporation if that's what you decide to do.
That's awesome. I'm always looking for feedback about how my mom's doing.
Oh, she's doing great. I have no
Okay.
complaints. I've only missed her class like 2 times.
Bass.
I know. Well, sometimes, so one day I missed it. My sister had a baby, and
Okay,
she ended up in the
that's
NICU, and so I went to go visit her and check
that's
on their
valid.
dogs. And then one day, I think I was just so beat down and so tired. I think I skipped my last 2 classes of the day, and I needed to go home. I would have been of no better mindset if I was in class than if I was out of class. I think that was where my attention span for the day had met.
Okay, but your sister having a baby, that's 100%
But I'll
valid.
be there today, so she don't have to worry.
Back in May is when you and I, or your company and my company, started working together. What specific goals and challenges did you have before you signed on for marketing? Kind of like what you said, like y'all were more of a word of mouth, which it does help. It's a great thing. And with the way the world is changing digitally, like so many businesses are more digital now than like print and word of mouth. What were some of the challenges your company was dealing with before?
I don't want to say there was any challenges per se, but the biggest thing was we wanted to expand into newer markets. We wanted to get more into Auburn. We wanted to be more into the residential side of Auburn. We have done the commercial jobs. We've worked for the university, but we wanted to get more into the everyday folks, everybody who wants a screen room. We wanted to be able to the ones to supply them with that. So to get into from Columbus to Auburn, it's 30 to 45 minutes. That's a hard that's a far way for word of mouth to travel. And so how do you break into a market like that without promotions or advertisements? It's kind of hard. It's we've done a couple jobs and we've done a few jobs in Auburn before that, and throughout 70 something years, we we've done the jobs there, but it wasn't enough to catch wind yet. We weren't catching speed, so that was an issue for us. We have where our home office is. We have that word of mouth that works great. We've been around for so long, it's hard not to know who to call.
Right.
But when you go into a market where your name is absent, what do you do? And I was like, well, the best thing I think we have to do is advertise. We have to promote. We have to do something. And you know, trying to learn everything in the business and go to school, it was hard for me to get online and to be the one advertising, to do this, to do that, to get this. And so I was like, we're going to have to go out of the office for this. And that's how I ended up getting in contact with you. Was I was recommended, and I was like, well, let me see what you have to offer. And I was like, I see no downsides to this. I it's going to get our name out. And that's the biggest thing is, even with, in my personal opinion, with marketing and advertising and promotions, that the biggest thing about that is still going to be word of mouth, because someone's going to go, man, I really want a screen room. Hey, well, I saw this advertisement or I saw this promotion from this company, and that it's still a word of mouth, whether they were the first person and they didn't hear it from me. They didn't hear it from, their neighbor, but they might've been just talking to someone in the street, and here we are now. So it's a word of mouth, still super prevalent when it comes to it, but it helps spread that word.
In the almost 6 months of your company working with mine, have you seen like a difference in like your leads and your revenue with your company? Like, do you think there's been a difference?
I think there's been a difference for sure, especially with our online engagement. With our leads, it seems that there's been more leads coming through the online section of the website where you're able to go in and submit a form. That's definitely upticked. There was no option for that beforehand. It does seem that we're getting more broad and wider reaching to folks. It's no longer just Phoenix City, Columbus, Smith Station, and Harris County. It's, now we're Thomaston, Georgia. We're getting up more towards Dadeville. We're getting up more in Auburn, more Opelika, more rural Lee County, over there off 169 and those areas. So I have seen an uptick of people who are, let's say, outside of our direct, region, that are contacting us. And I do think that has to help with, the biggest thing is our website and the keywords. I can't remember what they're called.
SEO.
SEO. That are popping up now. I do think that's playing into it a lot.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Vault today. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling your story. And we're going to get your market up here.
I really hope so. And I appreciate you having me. It's been fun.
Of course. So, guys, if you don't follow us on social media, please do. And we will see you in the next video. Peace.